What is up, my AKAPADers? Peter A. DeLuca here. You guys know the drill. Known throughout Philadelphia, PA, Europe, and the vast multiverse as your eclectic one. It's WILDSTORM Wednesday. I am so proud to bring you guys another episode. And if you're new here, here's what it is. Jim Lee, highly influential. Maybe we can argue the most influential form to come into American comic books ever. Isn't that a broad statement? Well, look. On Wednesdays, we get into this on a very micro and macro scale. We study Jim Lee's WILDSTORM Productions. We study him, all his contemporaries, all the people that came through his company, and even, well, all that silliness he's up to today. So, guys, here we go. It's WILDSTORM Wednesday. I can't wait to bring it to you guys. Rock and roll. Let's hit that video. Yeah. AKAPADers, cheers. This is maybe my third or fourth time trying to record this. I bumped this episode today for WILDSTORM Wednesday to bring you the WILDSTORM ASHCANs, and there's a big reason for it. Someone made a request. They saw me on the Hump Day show go through this stack, and they said, "Can you kind of get a little bit more detailed over what you have?" I said, "Look, you're a young WILDSTORMer." Sure. Guys, the Hump Day show, Omer Glitch, the link of that show is available down below. I'll tag him in this as well so you guys can find, subscribe, support his channel. He puts a lot of the true work in. But the episode we're bumping today is Uncanny X-Men 281 from 1991. There's things about Wells Portacio, and we'll segue it. And we'll segue it into our first ASHCAN, which is Hero Illustrated. Must be, I think it was Hero Illustrated 11. I don't know what issue of Hero Illustrated the ASHCAN started, but they would, you know, there's a Pit one, I believe there's a Max one from them. But as you can see, it's a few pages. But, I mean, glorious black and white stuff here, guys. Right? I mean, I love Portacio, how he draws just the tech and gear. But I just love the walls of this. You know, they're in this, like, weird-looking ship. Really cool stuff. And we see just the power he has overshadowing. Now, some of this might appear to be blurry. I'm going to focus it. But we have these, like, profile pages here. And this is kind of like still during, like, everyone's obsessed with Predator and G.I. Joe. The file card thing really was still big. And I like how lean of a production this is. It seems simple, but you learn so much about the characters. You get some of the book. And this was a highly anticipated release. Some of that is linked to next week's episode when we discuss X-Men, Uncanny X-Men 281. In my view, Wells Portacio was more of Image Comics than Jim Lee. People wanted Wetworks more than they wanted Wildcats. And there's a reason why the industry didn't accept this book once it finally came out. The industry didn't accept it. Audiences didn't accept it. They didn't care what personal strife this guy was dealing with at the time. They just wanted the book. And it was kind of one of those things I was never really forgiven. So our first WILDSTORM ASHCAN is Wetworks #1 from Hero Illustrated. Let's get into the one that launched WILDSTORM Wednesday. I've said this and I showcased this multiple times. But this is what I view to be Jim Lee's, like, seminal work at of all time. Mark Silvestri mentioned in a 30th anniversary edition of Cyberforce that this book, from the spread pages alone, costs about $30,000. Just the digital output for the files. To have this in black and white and just be able to study it and admire it, it's huge. And the line work and just how clean the lines are from Scott Williams. Really epic stuff, guys. And WildStorm Wednesday was launched. Now, I've given like a different accounts for what led into some of the trading cards led to WildStorm Wednesday. But when I realized how little I knew just about this, just about what we see on the cover, how little I knew, right? And at the time forgot about Homage Studios. Homage Studios predates WildStorm. I knew I had to create a series of videos to go through this and document it. And so many of you are, you guys are just fantastic with the attention you give me for WildStorm Wednesday. This is Gen 13. I believe it's 0. This is kind of where they were pushing Gen 13 to be almost like a traveling road show. And they would just go from like town to town, getting, Monster of the Week, getting into trouble, working together. We have some nice Travis Charest here, right? Young Travis. And this is also a little bit of a definition of why Gen 13 eventually didn't work as a title once J. Scott Campbell left. Very important observation. We profiled Gen 13 0 on the channel. This is, I think, one of the big ones here. Aaron Weisenfeld, Team 7. I'd love, there's just some like right there. I don't know if I did that. I may have done that by accident. Not limited. So some of them are sealed and limited here. See, like this one comes with the Homage Studio seal. But this one is, I think, of all of them, this is the one to get, guys. It goes to show you, you don't need much to publish a comic. You just need amazing looking pages. You need the book to be readable. You don't even need a amazing idea. Look at these bombers going off, and look how he draws that city. Incredible. You guys know how much I love the silhouettes. It just needs to be coherent, but well drawn, well illustrated. Here's the Deathblow with Tim Sale profiled yet, yes, on this very channel. So here we have Team 7, ASHCAN. Now, I believe, let's just jump over here. I believe I cracked this open live. This is the Scott Clark, R.I.P. Scott Clark, signed, sealed. We got a nice little sticker there with, I believe that's Winter. But to get this, and this quality, black and white, for any amount of dollar, look, these came with like certificates. Remember too, Rob Liefeld's the one that created the need and the market for ASHCANs. Everyone followed him, followed suit. Look at this. Jim Lee and Dale Keown collab piece. Where was this ever reprinted? And look at the logo, right? That logo would not be available in Germany. That's kind of like the KISS logo, and the KISS logo needs to be different in Germany because of the SS, and we still have Homage Studios. This might be one of my favorites. Darker image. Again, we have the seal here. I mean, to get the same Keith who Jim Lee called to join Image. Hey, you got something for Image? We will love to publish it. They get this. They get some of Rob Liefeld's best work. But Blood Wolf, I love Rob Liefeld's work on this. Look how he draws the Cable rip-off, knockoff character. This dude getting his head blown off. A lot of this is why color it. That's why I love ASHCANs. But Rob Liefeld does a good installment. Then we get to Jim Lee. Jim Lee meets Frank Miller. Deathblow. And Frank Miller hated this. He would bitch about it all the time. They ripped him off, and he was right. Coming soon, Union, Wildcats Trilogy. Wildcats Trilogy also has an ASHCAN. I still need that one. Next up, I killed myself to get these. Limited to 2000. Fantastic Four, Heroes Reborn. What I consider to be the greatest of all the Fantastic Four reboots. I mean, look at the vehicles, guys. We use the news reporters. I love that trope. One of the best Ben Grimms. One of the best Johnny Storms. Overall, if you go issue by issue of this series, the way that they introduced or reintroduced it, all the Fantastic Four mythology and lore, they hit the beats and it became a template for everything else after. Heroes Reborn is somewhat the template. Look at that Kirby crackle, right? The template for absolute DC right now. The template for Ultimate Marvel. And Ultimate, how many times have they revamped Ultimate Marvel? And beginning and ending with her boy Wells. This, I mean, guys, you don't get many pencils from this guy. But we see the black and white. We see the construction of his pages for his Iron Man. And dare I say, this Iron Man led into the revamp. It led into the movie. The Heroes Reborn, way more influential. They got way more right than people want to give them credit for. And his shadows, guys. And I always liked his hair. Like his hair in black and white. Look at that. It's just there. And I just like this. So for the full story, Iron Man 1 coming soon. I just like put it together. We need it, print it. Look, nothing on the backs for these. There's also there's a Rob Liefeld Captain America one of these that I would love to get for a decent price. But guys, a little bit of a quick one today. Someone requested Pete's WILDSTORM Productions ASHCAN collection. Next week, we will discuss Uncanny X-Men 281. I love you guys. Rock and roll.